You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In a country where the acts of racism are so in the open that everyone young and old can see, we can no longer waste time wondering why our successful Black American people just can't survive peacefully, and be able to pass on their hard-earned wealth to those that come after them without interference from the government. The trending video that shows President Joe Biden ignoring a black supporter as he moved across greeting everyone else has left masses in great shock and thinking deeply about the issue of racism in this country. In this video, Joe Biden is seen moving around greeting and hugging his supporters passionately, yet intentionally skipping the African American woman who remains shocked and thinking, why would the president be so cruel? Take a look. We have time and again explained how the R. Kelly situation is largely a manifestation of deeply rooted systemic racism in this country, and I bet some people who have chosen to flow with the media trends did assume we were not being logical. After all, the media sold R. Kelly short and made many believe the propaganda that he is in fact a sexual predator, which isn't true. Looking at this video, however, one can now understand what we mean when we talk about racism being the reason R. Kelly is currently held in prison over charges that simply don't apply to any of his cases. If the president during whose time R. Kelly's rights were violated can do this in broad daylight, what should the black community expect the system to do about their existence in this our country? It's clear the strategy of the US government for its black population cannot in any way differ from that for Africa, which has always been to reduce our population and maintain our numbers below a certain value. When black people remain few in numbers, they cannot apply pressure to influence any government decision, and this is exactly where they want us. There are several ways to achieve this, and one of them is by frustrating the flow of wealth between generations. The people that currently control the United States are relatives from a few families such as the Rockefellers that mastered the art of wealth transfer to the next generations, and citing their current influence on national decisions, the government senses the same could happen for black families if they are able to successfully pass on wealth to those that come after them. To stop this, therefore, the government must target wealthy black men and make sure that once they have left this world, there is nothing to pass down to the next generations of Black America. Now this is the epitome of systemic racism, which it's being practiced through targeting successful Black Americans and destroying their careers with completely no regard of what the law says. If you have wondered why no one seems to care if the government broke the laws of this land while trying to take down R. Kelly, if you have wondered why all these illegal actions were okayed by the Chicago Appeal Court Tribunal, and if you haven't yet figured out why R. Kelly's sentence is way beyond what some murderers who have taken people's lives get, today you have your answer. These actors from the DOJ are not supposed to take any action to check the government if the defendant is a successful Black American like R. Kelly. They are supposed to be locked up until they lose everything they would otherwise pass down to their descendants. Just look at the stats. Michael Jackson, taken to court over vague allegations of child molestation, which case he won and had to die as the next alternative. And when he died, his children were bought out cheaply and denied the lifelong opportunity of earning from their father's Sony shares. Mike Tyson, who is still alive, was arrested and charged with vague rape allegations, again without proper evidence, and his net worth was brought down from $400 million to below 10. What can he pass on to his children and grandchildren? Nothing. A similar attempt was made on Bill Cosby, but luckily Bongine was there to save him. Now the current target is R. Kelly, and some black American people who don't seem to understand the game are helping the racists win against the entire community, all for small gains in restitutions and Sony bribes. One may say it's not the government because it's Sony. But why do you think the government would entertain foreign company Sony, which is seemingly around to control the music industry while deciding who makes it and who fails? Sony is definitely the agent of government that controls the industry dominated by black Americans, which comes in handy for the system to stop us whenever they feel like. To summarize what exactly happened to R. Kelly, his wealth, which was supposed to be left with his 3 children, is now with Sony, and the leftovers were distributed amongst the multiple government witnesses. In fact, the government still wants him to pay $10 million to the women who alleged they were threatened when R. Kelly allegedly tried to stop the airing of Surviving R. Kelly series, which he didn't do. It's rather hypocritical when our leaders who claim a moral high ground turn out to be the worst figures in society. This racism by such top officials is the worst trauma the black population is facing, and not the false R. Kelly allegations. We cannot continue to sit back and look on while we are marginalized and our hard-earned wealth is taken from our children by the same government we pay taxes to. Being black does not necessarily translate into being guilty of crime. R. Kelly is in prison on mere assumptions and not evidence. The government was not able to prove their allegation of a RICO enterprise, even if the judge ignored this. And likewise, the Mann Act and forced labor charges just don't make any logical sense. R. Kelly did not engage in any form of cross-state trafficking, and surely everything is concocted. As explained before, the Mann Act focuses on 2 major factors which shouldn't miss to convict. That it's transportation and purpose of transportation. Not every man who moves with a woman across states is trafficking. The original purpose of transportation must be criminal, which was never the case with the R. Kelly situation. According to Noel Rogers, I am waiting for the day R. Kelly will step out of prison and sue these fellas. I am confident the Supreme judges will be critical enough to set him free. R. Kelly deserves to have all his hard-earned money given back to him for his children's inheritance. Otherwise, this is a broad day robbery. According to Ton Cobb, my brother R. Kelly has been racially prejudiced because of who he is. Clearly it's been proven that he is innocent in many ways. Just how can the government think they will get away with this unfair treatment? Robert has been through enough, and at this point, he deserves to be free again. Thankfully, Jennifer Bonjean is doing all in her power to rescue the situation. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.